And here we go with another weekly recap of Trinidad Bhojpuri Words and Phrase. This is a KDC production in collaboration with Caribbean Hindustani. I'm Karen Das.
And I'm Dr. Visham Bhimull from Caribbean Hindustani.
Well, it's May month in Trinidad. There is much emphasis on Indian Heritage Month as we go closer to May 30th, Indian Arrival Day in Trinidad and Tobago. So I thought it would be nice to start the week with the word Bidesi.
I grew up knowing this as a last name, and I want to reference Professor Bhojpuri here, because a lot of what I would have learned with regard to the names and the Indianship would have been my conversations with him. I remember once telling me that when the indented laborers came, they did not understand English. So they would assume what it is the Britisher would ask. Now remember, some of them did know Hindi or some Hindustani, so they would have communicated. You see it in movies like Lagan and one or two others showing that colonial period. But that doesn't necessarily mean that majority could have spoken it. So they would ask them essentially when they line up. There's one reenactment from a Surinamese play where this took place. There would be, "What's your name?" right? And they wouldn't be sure, and they'll be thinking that they're asking, "Well, where you're from?" Because they would try to assume in a line what would be the context of the question, but they didn't understand English. So a lot of them would have this perspective of where you're from, so they would want to say them they are foreign, or who are they? They are a foreigner. Now the word actually in standard Hindi is Videsh and Videshi, right? We did Desh or Des already, right? And the root V at the end means you're outside of that. You not belong to. You don't do Venn diagram. You're outside of that box. You're everything else but that. So if it is, you say Desh or Des is country, right? The word Deshi means one of the country. So Videsh or Vides or Videshi means one not from the country or foreigner. So they would say they are a foreigner. The verb becomes ba. So they would say Bides, Bidesi. Bidesi are songs of this migration or foreign person coming from a different country. And then Bidesi now would mean a foreigner. And at the end creates this noun that now foreign, adjective, foreigner, R-E. So Bidesi means a foreigner in Trinidad Bhojpuri.
And Bidesia, you said?
Bidesi, Bides, which is the adjective, means foreign, and then E creates the noun. So Bides becomes Bidesia, and Bidesia is now designates the type of song we used to sing, which is that experience of a person who had to leave his land to come to a foreign country.
Munif was kind enough to do a comparison with Bidesi and Pardesi. So Bidesi, he says, means from another country. Pardesi means from the same country but another part, region or district. Yes?
Yeah, so Pradesh, which is the formal, is like Videsh is the formal. So in the spoken language, it becomes Bides, and the Pradesh becomes Pardes. Right? There is no clash. It's a conversational. It exists in Hindi. Pardesi, jana nahi. Don't go Pardesi, the one who goes abroad or to the different district to work. Don't go. So Pardes, again, yes, it will be exist in our Trinidad Bhojpuri. Means Pardes is somebody who is from another district, not another country. So Videsh, somebody, or Bides, Videsi, somebody from a foreign place, a different country. Pradesh or Pradesh, Pardes or Pardesi now. See the same context, means somebody from a different district.
Well, there we go. We got so many words out of a simple word, Bidesi. We move on to another Trinidad Bhojpuri word, Arauni. Now, we've spent some time on this feature discussing the layout of the long-time house. So, Arauni, I mean, we spent some time recently discussing Kotharia. So, we learned about that part. So, this week, Arauni.
Right, I know Arauni as, but growing up, Arauni was what's supposed to protect. We did this with Baucha, right? So the Arauni essentially is that extension of the roof itself that protects from it. Because I know that if you do have a Arauni or well-built one, then you'd have a lot of bouchar in the conversations of old people. Conversations with my grandmother and they would have, my nan. So that awning that would now extend from the old traditional house, the chat, which is the roof, and the roof was specifically made with a certain type of plant, the mud houses. It would come out and extend to form like an awning, and that awning would give shade from rain and sun. So that was Arauni.
So Renuka says she believes it's a bank around a dirt house. Nalini says it's something like a small roof attached to the side of the house. Sometimes it's just on one side. Sometimes it wrapped around the house, which is what you described. Others said a surrounding part that hangs over the house. There was someone, Kamla says, long ago, those who lived in dirt houses made high bumps around from post to post so you can sit and talk.
Right, so obviously when it's the use of the extension, then you'd extend it further. So it doesn't necessarily refer to that. It would originally for the extension from the roof. So it would extend because they realize the use of now the awning or the concept of the awning now gives that.
We move on to a Trinidad Bhojpuri phrase, Kevaria Khole. Now, this was interesting because some were not familiar with Kevaria, but they knew Darwaza, Kevari, Sudhir, and they're in Fiji. He says Palla. Iqbal, who's also from Fiji, says it's the first time he's hearing this one, Kevaria. Karun says, don't know what Kevaria is, but I know Khole it means to open.
But a new word now is Kevaria, which means a door. I know section the song, Man ke Kevaria khol, raske duni pade. Means open the Kevaria or the door of the mind and let the essence of the raindrops come. Because she was, again, this Bidesiya welcoming her Paradesi or Bidesi from abroad, now welcoming him and this. Given this context of open your mind to the essence of God as what we do, my beloved is God and I am the devotee.
Moving on to another Trinidad Bhojpuri word, karao. Well, this was also a stumper because most people thought karao was another word for sapat. But there is a specific footwear that is called karao.
Essentially the same cutout of the shape of the foot and not the leather, but they would have the part of the slipper that goes through the big and second toe, the hallux we call it in medicine, big toe and the second digit, like a slipper, but it just goes to the top and there's it's like a nail, so in other words, they could fit it in there. It's not quite comfortable. It's also an Indian shirt.
Yeah. My father says it's very uncomfortable and it's very difficult to walk in if you have trouble with balance. And let's wrap up with a food-related Trinidad Bhojpuri word, roti. Very simple.
Mm-hmm. Well, the whole, I remember even buying flatbread from places in Port of Spain. Yeah, I don't want to mention names yet, because I don't know what copyright we have. And you go to the gyro places and you see the same thing. And this flatbread that they would eat is essentially the same as roti. They just make it on a different sort of baking apparatus. We make it on a tawa, which is metal, right? The original tawa wouldn't have been metal. It would have been out of stone, baking the stone. So that specific flatbread we make, we have different kinds. We have sada, we have stuffed ones. Sada means plain roti, sada roti. Then you have the ones you make with oil, so you have those toasty roti. You have paratha, in English parantha. You have dal puri, in Trinidad we call it dal bhari, right? Puri means full, bhari means the same full. So there's a different context. We call it dal bhari. We call it dal puri, right? Aloo puri, peas puri, rahari puri or raharia puri, but changed now to peas. So we just call peas that not chickpea, pigeon peas.
Pigeon peas, yeah.
So I remember those were stuffed rotis as a child. Aloo puri,
Now you
dal
have, what is
puri.
pan puri? Pan puri is also something.
Well, a puri is something filled. So pan is pan, as in
So they
pan.
just fill it up and they
chew.
just give you that.
Pan puri, we could just stuff it with the betel stuff. And
Yeah.
so they stuff the pan leaf, it is called pan puri.
Hey, thank you guys so much for contributing to Trinidad Bhojpuri Words and Phrase. This is a KDC production in collaboration with Caribbean Hindustani. If you'd like to get in touch with Dr. Visham Bhimull, here's how you do so.
Yeah, so Caribbean Hindustani, which is on Facebook as well as YouTube, and then there's CaribbeanHindustani.org, all available online.
I'm Karen Das. Catch you for the next weekly recap.